Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Zija International's Biz Talks. My name is Amy McKenzie. I'm an Emerald executive with the company, and it's really my privilege and pleasure to be with you here this evening. Now, we're going to cover quite a bit of material tonight, and I do have a special guest coming. But before we dig in and get started, I just want to welcome all of you. I see quite a few field leaders here joining us. Thank you for all that you do to share the natural health revolution. But tonight's really for the special guests, those people that maybe a friend told you about this, a colleague, a family member. This is something I love. I want you to take a look at it. Tonight is for you, so welcome. And we're going to do a very brief overview of the 3 things that I was taught by my mentor, Fred Holmes. He's a triple diamond executive at the company, and he generally hosts this evening. He taught me that someone with his caliber of experience really knows what to look for when they're researching a company. It's 3 things. Leadership. Now, I know for myself, I don't get on a sailboat unless I trust the captain, because I want to make sure we actually arrive at our destination. Well, we have that in spades with our founder, and we'll talk about that in a little more depth. And then, of course, there's product. It has to be real. It has to work. It has to have integrity. It has to be something that I myself and all of you would want to get behind. It also has to make sense, right? Something that you would consume on a daily basis, for instance, because, of course, that creates a market. And then finally, timing. And that may really be the most important. It's certainly right on par with the others. You might look at something and say, well, gee, I should get into a company that's been around a long time. And there's a lot of merit in that. There's some great companies out there. You might say, no, I want a startup. It's exciting, it's new, groundbreaking, no one knows about it yet. There's merit in that too, a little riskier. So we're going to talk about where exactly Zija International is right now and how that might impact you in your decision making. So let's get started. When we talk about leadership, we have to talk about Ken Brailsford, our founder, first and foremost. So I'm going to ask you a question. How many people know a founder that actually started a company because he felt, in his own words, spiritually prompted to come out of retirement to bring something he felt was so important to the world? On top of which, he was already a multi-billionaire. How many people do you know that would do that? Ken Brailsford, you might not have heard his name before, but he is truly an icon in not just this profession, but in health and wellness. He's the father of herbal encapsulation. If you ever had an echinacea, ginkgo biloba, St. John's wort, you have Ken to thank for that delivery system that made it possible for us in the West to easily get those wonderful medicinal herbs into our body. And he didn't stop there. That company was started, Nature Sunshine, some of you may know of it, in the 70s. It's still going. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and you can still purchase those products on health food shelves around the world. And then he went on to form Unicity in the 80s. Now, this is, almost 50 years, 2 different multi-billion-dollar companies still running. There's very few people who have done that. In fact, as it turns out, there's only about 24 companies that they call legacy companies. Been in business for 20 years or more, have done over $1 billion in sales, and most importantly, are still in business today. Ken's the only person in the history of this profession that has 2 companies on that list. Zija's is 3rd. So when it comes to manning the ship, we know we're going to get to our destination. No question about it. We have it in spades, as I said. So let's do a quick overview of the products. Well, we have 3 product divisions. Every one of them is a category created, first to market, science-based, high integrity delivery system. We have a genius or 2 working with us. I tell people, research the researchers. At this point, the caliber of people who have attached themselves to our company is staggering. Dr. Plant alone, please watch the video on him and his life. He's an absolute genius. He's a gift to us all. And he's brought us the first clinical grade essential oils. And I'm going to save the new launch product to be able to talk about with my special guests. That alone, the first clinical grade commercially available oils, it's huge. Our flagship product, Moringa, you can really attend to all your personal care using beautiful natural products that really work. Moringa is the most nutrient-dense botanical so far. Nothing's topped it. Over 90 plus nutrients. I encourage you to watch Pat Anderson does a health talks every Wednesday, and they go into depth on different aspects of our products. You can learn a lot there. Look up Moringa. I mean, you just can't deny the fact that this botanical is really bar none. There's nothing that competes. What we offer is the best delivery system. It's raw, enzymatically alive. All the constituent parts of the right strain, grown in UK organic grade soils, the highest grade in the world. We have a Pharmatech facility that's NSF certified. We're PDR, that's physician desk reference for our core nutrition drinks. I can go on and on. I love these products and they work. So we have that in spades, okay? And don't even get me started on the ripsticks. Our athletes love this because it's an all natural sports fitness line. That actually works, right? So you don't have to harm your body to get the results you want. Brilliant product line. So that moves us into timing. Where are we? Well, they say the sweet spot in a company is right about, when it starts annualizing, 150 to 250 million. Well, guess what? We got 12 years, we're in our 13th year under our belt. We're vertically integrated, which means we own the whole stack. Nobody else puts their fingers on our pie, right? So the quality control is there in every single aspect. Plus, when you look at the fact that we are literally just coming into like awareness. 2018 is when they announced Moringa as a superfood, the superfood of 2018, right? So we're not a household name yet. We're starting to be right there. And guess what? We're annualized right at about 150 million. So they call this the sweet spot. And when you hear about the new products they're launching and what's coming down the pike for this company, I'll tell you, thank the person who invited you because your timing is spot on. And I wouldn't trade my background with this company, getting to watch the growth, be part of the history, know the leaders. It's such an honor. But I'll tell you, those of you starting now can sweep right past those of us that were here in the beginning because the compensation plan is phenomenal. It's truly socially conscious company. Customers can come in, get started, and get to work without ever having any obligation to do so any more than share. And that's what we teach, how to share. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring on my special guest. I'm going to take a moment to talk about this woman. She's incredible. So we have a farm girl, grew up in Iowa, and really made something of herself. She went out into the corporate world and became a very high executive, 25 years. And she's raised a family, been married 30 years, has 2 children, 2 grandchildren, really working her job. And one day they eliminate it. What do? This woman is so brave that she said, you know what? I'm not going back to corporate America. I love Zija. I love the natural health revolution. I'm going full time. And boy, did she ever. She accomplished double diamond executive in this company. That's a really high leadership rank. And I've seen her speak. She's incredible. She's loving. She's warm-hearted. And she's committed to making a difference on the planet. With that, I'd love to introduce you to Linda Conti. Let me come on over here and find you, Linda. We'll bring you on over. There you are. 1 second. Yeah, Linda, you're moving. All right, let's bring you on over. Linda, you there? All right, let's get you unmuted. Okay, we're not seeing you, Linda. Maybe take your video off. Linda, hear us? Okay, something didn't work there. Hi, Linda. Well, we're not seeing your picture. Go ahead and say something, make sure we can hear you. Okay, we'll try that again, folks. Bear with me. Believe me, she is worth it. Try that again. Okay. There you are, Linda. Oh, wonderful. Let's get you unmuted here. I'll play over here, see if we can get you unmuted. There we go. Okay, technical difficulties aside, welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you. I think
Can you
what
hear me
happened
okay?
is Can you hear me?
All right, we're having a little difficulty hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Just barely. Can you turn your mic up a little bit for us?
Is that better?
Not really. Let's check the chat box. Everybody here, Linda, okay? Maybe it's just on my end. They can hear you. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Kevin Steele.
Good.
Terrific.
Good.
All right. So, Linda, it's just a privilege to have you. I'm so thrilled that you're here with us. And the first thing I want, your story is amazing, right? And when I think about the people who have spent a full-time career doing what you did to make the choice that you made, I mean, my hat's off to you. I really respect that decision. But lead us up to that a little bit. Will you just give us a little bit of your background and your story? What caused you to come in the first place?
Well, thank you, Amy, and thanks again to you and to Fred for asking me to be on tonight. It's always an honor to be able to share my story and help others to see why you might take an opportunity to look at something different than what is typically out there, you know, trading time for money. And not that that was bad, it was good for me. I mean, I had a great job for a lot of years, and all was well with that. You know, but then at the 25-year mark, so I should back up a little bit before that. When my kids were little, Lindsay was 2 and Louis was 5. When we lived in Southwest Kansas, I was involved in a car train accident. Oh. And it was critical injuries on my head, nothing from my neck down, but I wasn't even supposed to live to get to the airlift, let alone to get to the hospital. And it's when I came to understand that I was really not invincible, right? And that God was in control. And I've always been a very strong Christian, but then I really came to know that there was a different purpose. There was a way bigger purpose for me. Mm-hmm. And after a long road to recovery, I went right back into the corporate world because that's what you need to do, right? Just a second, Lindsay's gonna need to get off because she's just come on here. There. Anyway, that's my daughter, by the way. So, hello. So after my long road to recovery, and you know, I still had 2 children and a husband that we depended on my income and my working as well, and so I went right back into it, and for many years, right? But again, I came to understand the purpose. Well, when I was, you know, we led 4-H clubs, we led church youth groups, we were very active, and my job was very demanding. And no one had ever asked me about or talked to me about any kind of direct sales or network marketing. And then I was asked by a friend to go to a meeting. We lived in St. Louis at the time, was asked to go to a meeting. And this is one of those things, because I didn't know at the time that my job would be eliminated the next year. This is another one of those God things. I mean, God knew more than I did, right? And so anyway, but it made too much sense. And it was the only other business in this industry that I'd ever been involved with. And so I did that part-time as I worked my job, and still a very demanding job. And then my position was eliminated the following June. And that's when, like you said earlier, Amy, I made the decision that I wasn't going to go out, you know, at 47 to go find another middle management job that was going to compensate me where I was would be difficult to do, right? And at the time. And so the other part of that is I understood, I got it. I knew the residual income side. I knew that trading time for money, I could only earn the hours in the day, right? Which I was spending a lot doing. But so anyway, decided to just go, and I do everything. Those who know me will tell you that I do everything full steam ahead, and that's exactly what we did. But because and then I started to really see, and then there was the shift to Zija, and came to really understand and know the quality of the products, you know, and that's in the corporate world. Most of the time that I spent was focused on quality control and customer service. So that made a whole lot of sense here when I could see that our products, we never come to market with anything that has to really compete because it's always better than anything that's out there. And I started to see the results that people were getting, and it just made sense that in my mind, God put me there for a purpose, a calling, an obligation, if you will, and that it really didn't matter what people said, but everybody on the face of the earth needed to know and see what we had to offer. So that was kind of my story.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, first of all, it was a lot to go through, and you clearly made the decision to have it inform who you are in a positive way. And I have great respect for that. And your heart always leads in all of your speaking. So I could see why you would be attracted to the natural health revolution. Very interesting, the expertise you bring, though, with your product background. Talk to me a little bit about that. As we know, Ken obviously is delivering the best, but from that sort of professional perspective, how do you view Zija International, and maybe you can touch on our new product that's launching?
Well, okay, I will. And so I've rarely been asked that, Amy, and I'm glad you asked, because the quality control, so the business I worked in was a swine breeding stock company. And my role in quality control, I really was the face of our genetic advancement. So I spent the majority of my time working with the scientists and the veterinarians. Those who know the industry and know livestock know that there's, especially with hogs, there's a lot of health issues and a lot of places where you can't mix this and that, and there's biosecurity everywhere. And so to combine, to bring together, to keep the health where it needed to be, but still make genetic advancement, I was really the one that went to the executive team and said, here's what we need to do in these populations to make the genetic advancement. And then had the teams of people between Canada and the US that went out and selected, and then I would be there with them at different times. There was a period of time where I flew to Canada every other week. And I would be on the farms with people, helping them learn how to select, but what to select. And we had really, really strict quality control standards, things that, it was a ABC, here's exactly what you do. And then as animals went out on trucks to customers, I was the face when customers weren't happy, and the customer that wanted the pig with pink polka dots and purple ears, we needed to try to deliver or communicate, right? So so that was me who did that. And then again, the genetic advancement, and because there wasn't enough of me to do all of it, and obviously I lived in Missouri and the farms were in Canada and Oklahoma and Missouri, I couldn't be there to do it myself. So it was teaching people how to be my eyes, right, to do that.
Great training for this business.
Yes, and have the same standard requirements that I did. And one of the things I love about Zija in that is that I truly believe and know that integrity and that honesty is there, and that demand for quality in everything that we do.
So when you look at our pharmatech, you're coming from that point of view. The fact that we're PDR, the fact that it's NSF certified is very significant to you, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, it's easier, if you will, because you're not competing with average, because nothing that we have is average. Everything is the best that's available.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate your point of view on that. For those of us that are looking to, like I said earlier, research the researchers at this point, the caliber of people that are attracted to this. Right? It's very interesting. And let's go back to our founders, speaking of caliber of people, and Dr. Plant, and Dr. Scott Johnson, and some of the people, Dr. Monica Marcoux just spoke for us recently with Dr. Pat Anderson. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to you to be working inside of a Ken Brailsford company and all of the people that he's attracted to this particular vehicle.
Well, you said it, Amy, when you said earlier that he's the only one with 2, let alone now 3, on the way with 3. And that speaks, it's hard to even describe what that speaks, because there's nothing that compares to that. And to know you know, I guess one of the terms that I sometimes say is, you know, there's all those things out there that's like two guys in a basement that came up with the latest, greatest juice, right? And we don't ever have to worry about that. We don't ever have to worry about anyone questioning. How can anyone question the integrity of those gentlemen? And no, so again, it takes another thing off the table as we are out sharing and conveying to people the whys, the what's, the whys, and the hows. It just makes it simpler, if you will, because you can cross those things off.
That's right. Yeah, excellent. Well said. Talk to me about timing now. So you have enough experience to be able to have kind of an objective overview about what it means to be where we are right now. From your perspective, I'm a new person coming in. What's your advice to me? What's your perspective?
You have one life, and you know, why wait? I mean, now is when you need to be on fire. I mean, I've been here 6 years. It'll be 6 years in February. And to know that none of that time that I've been here has been a time when our company has been in momentum, right? And that we're going there now. And yet we built big. We've got a large customer base. We've got great distributors. But yet, gosh, it's nothing compared to what's about to happen. As long as we continue from this second on, as long as we continue to work it like our hair's on fire, you know?
And what makes you feel that its momentum is right here around the corner, that we are actually in the wave of it, if you will?
Well, so one, I will tell you is, as you had said to bring up too, was the new product. You know, I know that the CBD industry is in front of us, and we hosted Dr. Plant in Nashville just a couple weeks ago, and really got to hear and understand and know the whole as CBD comes up and what's happening with it, and learned a lot more than I even knew about it. But the fact that, once again, Amy, we're not coming with another CBD oil. We're coming with a patch, and we're coming, and as I understand it, we don't even know what all we're coming with, and we're going to learn that in March. And that's just, I mean, we had a packed room in Nashville, which we would have had a lot of people there, but I'm not sure we'd have had a packed room except for the buzz of CBD, right? And what was happening with that. And again, always coming, and we know, you and I both know that there's more. There's more past CBD. There's more. That Zija is never going to sit still and just figure that we've got all we need to have. You know, and if you look around your household at what you use and you just replace other things, and before long, you won't have to go to, you know, any other store to get any of your items that you need for yourself health-wise. Maybe your clothes, but otherwise that's about it, right? Because Zija's coming with the best, and the best every single time we turn around. So that Amy is one of the reasons that I know. The other reason is, you know, corporate has really refined so many things, and there's so much that has come into play from their standpoint, from the product side, but even for the tools that we have available, and the focus that they've had, and this team of people that they've put together that are the experts, that are the brains from the field, all right, along with what they already had, and that we have access to work with those field leaders who know their stuff. I mean, I'd never done this industry. How many of us hadn't, right? And so to learn from the best who have shared in this industry, just incredible in my mind.
Yeah, very well said. And we are always at the front. I love what you said about, you know, with the CBDs. You think about the fact that Dr. Plant was working with his team nearly a year ago, long before that farm bill was passed. The vision, absolutely, right? Just like Ken has always had. When people say, oh, I know all about moringa, I kind of giggle to myself and I say, yep, and I know why you know. because of
Yeah.
Ken Brailsford.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, in parting, is there any, words of wisdom that you would want to share with someone who's taking a look at this business today?
Yeah, I would say, again, I believe everybody that walks the face of the earth needs to know. Don't let it stand in your way if they choose no. If they choose no for now, doesn't mean no forever. I mean, I go everywhere from my 11-month-old granddaughter, ever since she was born, her mom's been drinking Supermix, to my 4-year-old granddaughter, to my kids, to my husband, who had for 14 years had blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and acid reflux issues. That's changed drastically for him. Clear on up to my 82-year-old dad, 83-year-old dad. And dad is now earning an income with it as well, because Social Security was all he had. But little did he know, but it's just because of his position, in my business. And the fact that people look at him and say, I had a gal the other day that said, I haven't seen your dad in 8 years, and I think he looks younger than he did when I saw him last. And for the last 2 years, because I was persistent with dad. I mean, after we lost mom, I couldn't get mom to consistently use Zija, and because it's that mentality. It's the doctors say do this, so that's what a lot want to do. And so I was persistent with dad, and dad came on board for every day drinking Supermix and 2 Hydrate and his premium tea and now some oils, and he feels better than he's felt in 5 or 6 years. And those are the things that make a difference in the world, and now I can help him too as he builds a business, and as we have a team up there. And then Lindsay, my 25-year-old daughter, who got a first spot in my business when she was in high school. She was a senior in high school when she enrolled in Zija, in one of the first spots in my business. And when she graduated from college debt-free, she had a foundation built to where then now we're building together, we're working together full time. So when she just got married, when she has babies, she can be home with them and she can control her life. And it's because of a decision that she made then. So I would tell you guys, don't wait on that. I mean, we're at a prime time, the timing in this business, a legacy company. And I just couldn't express enough that people need to get their spots in the business and then do something about it and make a difference for a lot of people's lives. We lead a team called Team Infinity. Last thing I'll tell you, but our goal is that we will bring hope to over 1 million globally before we're done.
Boy, if that doesn't reach out and touch people's hearts, I don't know what would. Linda, I love your passion. You are just made for leading the natural health revolution, and I can see how much it means to you. Thank you for the gift you are and for your leadership. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thanks again for having me, and thanks for all that you do for Zija International as well.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take you back over, and we'll just close this out. We just got to find a spot. All right, there you go. Bye-bye. All right, everyone. Well, there's an incredible woman who is sharing her heart out because she believes no one should miss this, whether it's the products, whether it's the opportunity. Get back with the person who introduced this to you and find out about the other ways that you can learn more. Wednesdays, as I mentioned, Pat Anderson has her health talks. If you're finding, I think I could do this. I think I want to look into this. We do a wonderful training with a top leader every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, on this same Zoom channel. And, they're just a wonderful plethora of tools, support, leadership. We really do work as Zija Nation, as we like to call ourselves, from the heart. We lead with the heart, we share with the heart. When we believe in what we have, we'd love for you to join us. So please get back to the person who invited you, and let's go to work and make a difference in the world. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.